CDPs, right, is we're on that bell curve of like the early adopters, and they're figuring it out. They're kind of the guinea pigs for the industry, I mean, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think you and I both agree that they're doing it for the right reasons to help make sure that we're marketing the right message to the right people, right? That's marketing. Suppressing audiences. They've bought a car. You don't need to show him another sales ad when he's looking to get the number for a service advisor, right? And I think all of those things are in motion. And I think with the CDPs in general, what I'm excited about is that it's kind of making people a little uncomfortable. It's like making people be like, well, shoot, how are we going to figure that out? Or how are we going to do that? And I've now connected a couple people, a couple clients, a couple vendors that, are kind of starting this conversation or are really pioneering it either way. And so, I think it's a perfect segue right now to talk a little bit about the next phase of early adoption, which for me, it comes down to the fact we've spent a lot of the last couple episodes and a lot of the last little bit here talking about Google. But they have their biggest threat on their doorstep of all time.
Yeah, since they became a company.
Right, and Chat GPT is not new, right? It's not new. It's been around. And we'll talk a little bit about that in particular, but like what is new is that people are really using it, and it's not just ChatGPT, it's Perplexity, it's Grok, it's Claude, it's Gemini, it's all these other AI pieces that are changing how people interact. You and I use
ChatGPT 15, 20 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, every day,
all the time.
And it's funny because it took me to do that to understand how I would use it, right? And and it's funny, like just going through the car buying process myself. There's so much media out there, which is like a blessing, right? I mean, obviously we're marketers, like we're contribute to that. But like, it's almost like I want to go to ChatGPT to like clear the noise. Like, tell me the best vehicles with a third row that are safe, that are great for families, blah, 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 right? Whatever my prompt was.
Sure,
narrows it down. Gets some insight.
Quickly gets you what you would have got from an OEM site through your own research.
100%.
A lot faster.
But it's unbiased, right? Like I know that Kia is selling me when I look at Kia. I know that Hyundai is selling me when I look at Hyundai. Take that out, and ChatGPT is just giving me what I wanted in the most simplistic format, I think. How are you using it today? I mean, I think it's just important to like, because we are users, because we are on it. Mike's over there. He uses Grok more than anybody I know.
But he's a Grok guy.
He's a Grok guy, which is a great terminology, right? He's a Grok guy. True product dev guy through and through. How are you using ChatGPT? Why do you use it? Why never just? And let's not get it wrong. We're still using Google 200 times a month, right? But we'll come back to that. Why are you using ChatGPT? What makes it more successful for you?
I mean, efficiency gain. I mean, that's just it's that simple. I think, when I think about the CDP users and how a lot of their expectations are not being met right now, it's because their expectations were just different than what the reality of the situation was. I think about some of the things that we control on our side, and you need to have certain size audiences to be able to even create any visibility, or even have an ad run, for a lot of things that we're talking about. And so very similar to this, the expectations for what ChatGPT is not what's sometimes being said out there. I think I saw, a car dealership guy was saying, I don't use Google at all anymore. I just use this for everything. And I tell you, I search and I get a ton of answers with ChatGPT because it's way faster because I need that specific answer. And so I use it for that. I use it to help draft a lot of emails. And do LinkedIn posts and craft things. I'll go through and make my own changes.
Of course.
But just to simplify a lot of those things, I use it for a ton of data analysis. You remember how long it used to take us to do query analysis? And how much faster things are now for us? It's unbelievable. When we are looking at our market data, we're looking at what's going on in the market. And you know me, I'm a big numbers guy, and I can see a lot of stuff. Sometimes, my wife sometimes tells me that I speak numbers better than I speak English,
it's a 0.1 Sarah. I'll leave that alone.
But the efficiencies gained through the proper prompting just allow you to do so much more. And I don't think that we've ever been running as fast as we have. I know our product innovation is just accelerated to a point
100%.
that all of our dealer partners are so excited about the new things we're building. We're all so excited about it because we are able to do so much more as a result of it. And it's all just efficiency gain after efficiency gain after efficiency gain. but there are still several limitations with it in terms of shopping,
Yep.
and so that's what I have not done is I have not bought anything from Chat GPT. And so I will figure out what I'm going to buy. I'll figure out, we're going to traveling. Sarah and I, it's our 20-year anniversary this year. We're going
Amazing.
to Alaska.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm
Big
so
time.
excited.
Yep.
So excited. 20 years.
20-year celebration looks a little different. What milestone was it when Reunion turned?
Well, when we first started Reunion, it was our 10-year, our 10-year anniversary.
Not as fun to plan that vacation.
No, there was no vacation. No, that money was,
a little different.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it big. Cause Sarah deserves a big one here. She's a big part of the Reunion story. Amen. By allowing it to happen.
Yeah, totally.
But so we have a lot of good ideas about, okay, we're gonna go to these different cities, and we're going to go see these different things. We want to see Denali, of course. We want to go see some whales. There's all sorts of different avenues you can go, and so it gave me all sorts of different things that we could do, and how to best do it, how to manage our time. And then from there, I said, okay, good. Now we have a good idea. I want to shop now. And so then I moved into Google.
And that doesn't bother you. That split going platform to platform.
No. I mean, one, it doesn't. Again, 99% of people use both. I mean, it's yeah. In fact, I think the efficiency that Chat GPT and Grok and Perplexity and all the other AI tools is creating now for people is the ability to actually search more. And it's like it's even reflected in Google numbers. 2020 there were 2 trillion searches happening. Now there's 5 trillion searches happening. Whether or not some of those are bots or whatever, obviously there is an uptick, and that's because of the efficiency gains that AI allows us to have. So I know basically what we want to do now, because is well outlined for me and Sarah on our trip. But then I want to go and look at specific hotels, and I want to see the local business shopping environment. What am I going to do in these places?
See the reviews. You want to see how you're going to interact with it, right?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
that's what I keep thinking about.
And that's a much better experience. So I think, a lot of people, again, in this early adopter phase, a lot of times people want to go all in to, so Google's dead. SEO is dead. I mean, you know how much that drives me nuts, because it is absolutely not the case. And we have to always keep in mind, where is the consumer at right now? Right now, the consumer is on average going to Perplexity 13 times, a month, and ChatGPT 16 times a month, and Google 200 times a month for their searches, and that's the case, and that's reflected. We see in Google Analytics. We've been looking at. I mean, we're obviously big on understanding the market, understanding consumers, and what does the data suggest to us. And we looked at scores of different dealers that are within our network. What's happening in GA4? How many people are coming to dealerships' websites and seeing us in ChatGPT versus Google, and it's a good reflection of the shopping experience still being so much better on Google. They might go, well, yeah, you just went and bought a car. So what was your journey like?
Yeah, perfect question. I mean, exactly kind of the way you described it, man. We talked about brand loyalty earlier. Mm-hmm. We knew we weren't going to stay with the same brand. We didn't like the options that it had, didn't like our dealership experience. So I'm like part of that person that brand loyalty, when you look at my wife's last 3 vehicles, all completely different makes. And like that A right there, I think speaks to it. But B, then I started on ChatGPT actually, which again, even a couple years ago, I would have never imagined. But I really wanted to just narrow my list down. I think so many cars look good today. I think so many cars have great technology advancements that we were open to a myriad of things. And so we started narrowing it down. What's a vehicle that has the 3rd row that's also safe, that also has these technologies? And we narrowed it down to, the Telluride, the Hyundai Palisade, and then something else, right? And then we got a little closer down the funnel. Well, now I need to look at prices. So now I'm over on Google, and I'm looking at who it is and where the prices are and where the dealerships, because we just moved, so I didn't want to be driving too far away for service. Like that comes into play, right? Yeah. Looking for that local business. And then fortunately here in Raleigh, right, like we have clients that represent those brands. So now I start talking to them.
And we buy from our partners.
Yeah. So I was able to get a client to get a great introduction. And I went back to ChatGPT to ask questions about 2 competing models. So when we went to, in my case, Hyundai, got the introduction from a client, went to the salesperson who I trusted, had looked it up, did all that in, and then now I go to the dealership to compare incentives, price points from the two models. We looked at two, drove away with one right after the fact. But it was between those two platforms.
Yeah.
And what was really interesting is like, personally, did not hit a third-party site, which again, shopping new. I knew I wanted new, and I knew I wanted lease. So, very different in that. But like my search experience, Chat GPT, Google, might even clicked on a VLA at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was pretty much those two platforms, and for me, super easy. To do with those two things.
Well, I mean, and so this is actually, I think, what's making the buying experience more efficient for people, and they can actually spend more time shopping. Because what we used to do is we used to go to the OEM sites and do comparisons across the OEM sites. And so that's really right now what consumers are doing on ChatGPT is that's kind of replacing a lot of the information that comes from the OEM sites and the educational quick information hits.
Yeah.
And then you realize, okay, this is what's the kind of vehicle I want or even body style, whatever it is. And then you start shopping. And right now, if you go on any of these AI environments, there's not the shopping experience. In fact, they don't have real-time inventory data. They don't have real-time pricing. They don't have necessarily the easy access to the reviews. Yeah. I mean, I think we expect ads to come is what we're hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, and we know that there's obviously some advertising opportunities on Perplexity. Perplexity has some other neat SEO things that they can do, injecting it with information. But right now, the shopping experience is not giving the same level of shopping that Google does. And Google built their entire platform, I mean, over the last 15 years, but to make money. But
how they do that is by having the shopping, right?
Yeah, they focus on local business. I mean, they injected the maps, they added reviews, they created an environment where you have options. And when you're shopping, you don't just need, it's not the same thing as information and fact finding. Now, is ChatGPT and is Grok and are these going to create a more localized experience over time? I have to think that's happening. Why would
Thank you for watching this episode of Reunion Station. If you like this video and want to keep hearing more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Thank you.